Hello everyone, my name is SurrealBeliefs and welcome to a 3v3. Here with me today is Tokshin. Hey Tokshin.
Hey Surreal, how is it going today?
You know what? It's going alright. Now, what if I went, no, it's going shit? Then I don't know what you would say back. Like, would you go, oh, tell me more? Which would be weird because we're doing a video.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, how about you tell me your life story on this video that a lot of people are going to see, and then they can judge you about it.
Oh yeah, it's true. But instead of judging me, judge my play skill. Now over here, I'm bringing in my dwarf army. I brought in a lot of cannon. Again, I do not normally bring that many. I bring in like 2 groups. Wait, I did. I only brought 2. Okay, right. I did that. Okay. I have a nice formation. It is beautiful to look at. You should love it. And I brought in some thunderers. I brought in my dwarf warriors and all of that. And in the middle, we have a chaos player. He brought in a lot of forsaken, a lot of damage dealing, some halberds, and a wizard. And what about your build?
My build, I got a couple of Var guys, so I was giving them a shot to specifically go against enemy archers. I brought a line of zombies to hold forces. I brought some criticals for the poison attacks. I brought 2 Karen wraiths and a group of hex wraiths, which are, I like them. I like them. They ignore 75 or 70% of physical.
Now Tokshin, tell me about the beginning of your battle, because it's happening now. You brought in a lot of chariots,
Oh yeah, these goblin chariots, I don't really believe in the goblin chariots too much. It looks like they are impressive based on their stats. They have a high missile damage, but as you can see, they're shooting my forces and they don't actually appear to be doing too much hit points.
Not at all. And in the middle, our enemy did cast a spell towards our chaos player. He's charging in. Now, I think I actually did talk to you a little bit about his build in the very beginning. A very high damage build. Forsaken do a lot of damage. They're meant to do damage, but they die quickly. And right now, he's fighting a bunch of spearmen, halberds, demigryph knights as usual, which I actually didn't have to fight. He brought in 2 of them, and one is a halberd group. I actually did not know that. And right now, my vampire count player is charging towards me. Vampire counts are not fun to fight. They do not break. And he brought in, what? A Terrorgeist and a flying wizard and 2 Vargeist, which are not fun. Now, I do have my cannons in the very beginning go after his crypt horrors because of armor piercing and all of that. That is a huge pain to deal with. And what about your fight now?
My fight, I'm sorry, I was actually looking at your fight. I just dropped a spell that's going to debuff the enemy's, actually that's not my spell, I'm sorry, that's the enemy's spell. It's dropping the big bad moon to debuff me as my hex wraiths are flanking their position, trying to get in behind the orc biggins. My enemy here brought a whole slew of orc biggins, and they're not going to do too much against zombies who are going to weigh them down and tire them out, followed up by Graveguard.
Right, not at all. And I know that our chaos player brought in a few of his halberds to come help you out, and he actually holds up a few of the orc biggins. He brought in a very strange build, but he was actually a really good teammate to have. And if you look over here, that Empire player brought in his demigryph knights, and he didn't really use them to charge. If you look at where they're at, they're bogged down. They're fighting right now hand to hand when they should not be doing that at all.
Where do you see that at? I was trying to look for
it's a little bit towards the middle, to the right of his own Forsaken. Yeah.
I see.
There we go.
Yeah, you want them to kind of do cycle charges.
Now back to my flank. I didn't really get to do as much as I wanted to with my range, and I do often use them because I love them. One crypt horror group is falling apart, but he brought in a lot of flying, so he went straight for them. And I remember that we had a lot of lag during the match. Apparently one of them potentially had either a rig that was not able to handle the game or potentially slow net, but we were lagging the entire time. You're not seeing it now, but trust me, I was complaining about it the entire time, going, oh, speed up, why don't ya?
Yeah, this battle for us lasted about 2 times as long as it is actually for the this replay here. It was very slow.
Which is why I was very shocked about how short, you know, the replay was, and then I was like, oh right, lag. And right now, the handgunner is doing a lot of damage. He buffed him up again. Oh yeah, those knights have not moved yet. They're still fighting in the same location. My vampire count player brought in a Terrorgeist. I find that whenever I'm fighting a vampire count, they often send out a flying unit to help out their team. I never know why they do that. I mean, like, sure, help out your team, but hey, you're fighting me still too, buddy.
I guess they just didn't respect you as a player, Surreal.
Oh, you shall rue today. He's gonna rue today. Today, actually. Actually, a few days back, but anyway, he's gonna rue it more. Yeah.
And at this point, all those chaos, or not chaos, but the greenskin chariots, I have routed them, and a lot of them I think have gone off the field by now. There are still a couple, but I just sent my hex race after them as I'm now trying to wrap up the greenskin player. They don't have many units left, They do still have a couple of Savage Orc Boy Biggins, but they spent 4,000 gold in their cab for all those boar Biggins.
Right. And they did pretty much nothing. And right now you're fighting some Demigryph Knights who are bogged down again. You've got zombies going brah and hugging them and whatnot, and you're just beginning to cut them down. Man, that's a lot of Demigryphs.
That is a lot of Demigryphs that, again, they should not just be sitting there. And they're also not the Demigryph Knights that have halberds. So they're fighting against my Cryptors. They're not going to do as well as the halberds ones would because
Correct.
they don't have the anti-large.
Correct, and right now, if I look at it, your Hex Rays do a lot of damage by charging in behind them. I think you go after their leader, Karl Franz. I don't know if you get him right now, but he's nearly dead now. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he was smoking the pipe, but he's nearly dead now.
I think we did finish him off here. He was targeted by some spells and some range fire earlier. I don't think Karl Franz actually did too much in this game, but what's going on over on your side now?
Okay, let me look at my side. It was a complete quagmire. I mean, I could not move at all. And again, because of that lag, I wasn't really too keen on the fight as a whole. Usually I'll have flanked my enemy by now. I'm trying to shoot his flying unit, his leader, He-Man, you know, his general over here. But that was a pain to do. They actually did take out a lot of my cannon. Unfortunately, I do have my Master Engineer, who I forgot to mention. He did a little bit of damage. I do like him. I think you like him a bit more. And right now, I've got a group of Graveguard charging in at my Quarrelers. Oh, one enemy lord died, and that would be Karl. He's dead now.
Oh, poor Karl.
Your White King charged in a group of handgunners alone, and they are now broken, they're fleeing, and that was a cool charge.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that I brought the White King.
Yeah, he's pretty
They're
good.
cool.
Yeah.
I like them.
I like him too. Yeah, in the future though, we probably won't be doing more 3v3s until we get someone to potentially like join us on commentary, because it is a little bit much for us to kind of show off the battle and to go over a third player and what they're doing too. Not to mention, to let you guys know about how we do these here, there are no real tools. I mean, replays in the game right now are very basic. I don't know if that will ever change, but there is no backspace. There is no going back in time. If we want to go back in time, we've got to reload it. So what we do, we time these simultaneously to begin at the same time. That is why we can't take more time. Otherwise, we would take a lot more time. If we could have, I don't know, the capability to watch one person play it and pause when we want to, but that is to let you know why we do go a little bit faster than we mean to. And right now, I'm having a pretty tough time. My left flank is doing well, but my core is not doing well. Oh, look at that.
Let me go over there and check it out. I see some crumbling from the vampire accounts, though.
Right, that Terror Guys was quite effective. I mean, had he had that in the very beginning, it probably would have done a lot more damage. He does hurt my core a lot. Definitely not my finest game, but you guys had wrapped it up. You guys completely won the fight. It's going incredibly well.
Yeah, the Empire player is totally broken by this time. They couldn't take the White King. It was him alone, did it all. But yeah, the Chaos player is now trying to mount up a offensive against the remaining vampire accounts, but you kind of have to clean up by yourself. You were like a 1v1 this entire time, basically, over here in the corner.
Yeah, because his leader completely flew off and I could not kill him. That was a huge pain. Had I killed him, it would have been done for, but I could not kill him, and he did a good job at taking out my range. I could have done a much better job at protecting them, but I did not. Our Chaos player, again, had a very high damage build. He actually had a good amount towards the very end. He did lose a lot, but if you check out the bodies, there are a lot of bodies, man. Like, he did kill a lot.
Oh yeah, we'll go over the kill count here in just a moment.
Okay.
But the Chaos player did really well.
Let's go after his kill count in the very beginning here. Okay, his leaders did not do a lot at all. I know that he had a melee hero, but he didn't do a lot. But his Forsaken did a lot of damage. He upgraded what he had, and they did pretty well. One Chaos Warrior group, only 2 kills. Now that, I don't know what happened, and that is not good. But besides that, yeah, he did pretty well. He got a lot of kills.
Yeah, he got a small elite core. It doesn't always work, but in such a small map where he can't be kited because he's very slow Chaos Force, a small elite core like that can do really well. But on large maps, especially in like a 1v1 situation, I would not really recommend a all infantry slow Chaos build like that because they're so easily dealt with on larger maps.
Right. Okay, now what about your little feed here?
My Hex race did really well, as expected, because we're going up against a lot of physical damage-dealing orcs, a lot of orc biggins, a lot of savage orc boar boys, and the thing is, the rates just ignore so much physical damage, so they were able to do really well. Marvar guys didn't do too much. I didn't get to show it in the video, but I sent them off to kill some handgunners, and then they got trapped there and murdered.
Right.
Or Cryptors didn't do too well. Graveguard could have done better, but the thing is, we kind of broke their morale, and so the forces were routing so long, so I didn't really get to kill too many.
Right. Like, I did want to point it out that you were fighting a lot of mounted guys here who are not very plentiful in numbers. So, like, while it doesn't look like you got a lot of kills, you actually did in terms of proportion. So you did wipe them out. I mean, look at that orc player, man. Completely wiped out. Like, he did not have much left. And a Goblin Great Shaman, I know that you're a fan. I'm not a fan of using them as a lord. They're a little bit too squishy. Magic is fine, but you also want your leader to be able to get a few kills in. Now, I do say that Kimmler is amazing because he does have a aura that can heal up his own army, and that is very, very strong. So I think when I usually bring a main spellcaster as a lord, it'll probably be for the vampire counts.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I did. I brought Heimer Killer because if you don't know, they have a trait. I think it's called Master of the Dead. And so at all times in a 30-meter radius around them, they are continually healing their undead forces. So you want Kimmler in the thick of it, not fighting, but close enough to heal and support your undead army, which is what I was trying to do in that battle.
Okay, let me go look at the Warriors of Chaos player one more time and look at the Empire player. Karl Franz did nothing. I don't know what he did, but Karl Franz did not do a darn thing. Now, his knights got a lot of kills, but again, they were not used effectively. You want them to charge in over and over and over, and he actually did bring in 3, and one did have a halberd group. And that could have probably hurt you quite a bit with your Cryptors and all of that, but no, he just kind of let them get bogged down. I don't think he could handle all that micro management. That's kind of like the gist of what I got, because I mean, he did leave a lot of things, well, dead. Just kind of lying there and dead. His Bright Wizard only 3 kills, and he did cast quite a few kills, but yeah, again, spells right now are not that great depending on what you use. It can be effective, but the Bright Wizard, they're better at buffing.
Yeah, the only thing I really use for magic is buff spells, unless the offensive spell has a debuff attached to it, like for the Orc Shaman. They have that big head, I think it's called the Big Bad Moon or something, and that attaches a debuff spell to anything it hits, I think for 20 seconds. So that's really good, if not only for the damage and the vortex that disrupts, but for the debuff. But yeah, in most cases, yeah, damage spells aren't really worth it too much. Okay,
for my little kill feed over here, I had Ungrim, who is incredible. You'll find out later when we fight a player who uses him. He would not die. It was incredible. I was actually getting mad. I was like, man, die, you dwarf. But anyway, if I look over here, my Master Engineer did not get a lot of kills. My range did not do well at all. I had a foe who was able to close the gap quickly. Whenever you have that going on, you're probably not going to be able to do too well at shooting. It was a small map. I brought in a little bit too much range. And if we look at it real quick, I had one Longbeard group get nearly 200 kills, 199 total, probably fighting zombies and all of that. But no, that was a very slow fight. My Iron Breakers, I don't know if any died at all. They got 49 kills. But I definitely could have had a much better formation where I could have utilized my line a lot better. I could have maybe potentially been able to flank my foe. But again, there was lag throughout the whole map, and it was kind of hard to micromanage at that point. But anyway, that will conclude what we have here. Be sure to check out our channels down below.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good day.